Hello, my name is Chris. I just wanted to go over the things you can do to help format and edit the documentation you have for this class and hopefully for other things too. I'm an ex-Air Force member and I was actually in charge of editing the formal documentation for Air Force instructions, which was extremely rigid as you can imagine. So I learned how to edit documents like this into very strict formatting things and how to do it quickly. And knowing how to do some of these things will save you hours and hours of work and checking and things like that. So I'm going to teach anyone who's interested how to do that and hopefully save you a lot of time too. So here I've pasted our documentation that we have in an unformatted way. So obviously things are going to have to change. So some of the easy things you guys might already know: how to add pages at the top. So you can go into the header and you can simply add page numbers. I like just adding them. You do start at 1, apply, and you can either have them in the middle, the left or right. And you can also do the same thing on the footer. If you want to do in the footer, they have the same option. I like doing the top right. And so long as you do it that way, then every single page will automatically be numbered. You don't have to worry about that. Now, the other thing is actually something you can apply to programming and IDEs, basically any text editor. Is what I see a lot of people will do is they will like try to get this stuff and they'll go and click and they'll drag down whatever they need to get. Or sometimes like if they need like 3 pages worth of stuff, they will go and they'll try to time it to get exactly 3 pages, or like 5 pages. Sometimes it spirals out of control and goes super fast. Or if they're trying to get like just this little part, then they have to be very careful to get that. I found that's very silly. There's much better ways to do it, and that's using the keyboard. So if you don't know, if you hold down Shift and use the arrow keys, that will highlight one letter at a time. If you go in the opposite direction, it will unhighlight it, or it'll move in that direction. Now if you go up and down, you'll get lines at a time. That can be useful, and that's what most people know, but that goes way beyond that. So if you, first of all, if you hold down, well, first of all, if you press Home, that will take you to the front of the line. You press End, that will take you to the back of the line. If you hold down Control and Shift, that will get you words at a time. So especially if you're going into like a big thing like this, rather than like trying to get like this exact thing, you can just hold down Control, go to the start of it, Control and Shift, and you'll get words at a time. That goes much faster. Alternatively, like if you want to get like from this to just the end, Shift and the End key will take you from where your cursor or where your indicator is to the end of the line. Shift and Home will take you to the beginning of the line. So you can do to get like a whole sentence. Actually, that sentence ends. Where is that sentence? Very long sentence. You can see how quickly this goes compared to trying to get things like that. Also, if you hold down Shift and Page down, that will get you a page at a time. Shift and Page up will go up a page at a time. Like let's say like you're doing for like this and everything down. Control, Shift, End will get you from that part to the very end of the document. Or Control, Shift, Home from where you are to the very beginning of the document. Or if I want to edit the whole thing all at once or copy the whole thing at once, Control and A highlights the entire document. So now that I have the whole thing highlighted, I can do like Times New Roman 12-point font. And now the whole thing's edited. I don't have to worry about like trying to drag and drop and make sure I get every line. Control A, get the whole thing at once. And beyond that, you guys probably know how to like do alignment. So there's left, right. These have obviously shortcuts too. I forget them because I usually just do this. I'm a little lazy in that. Control Shift. So yeah, Control Shift E center align, Control Shift. L is left align, Control Shift. R is right align. We'll keep this left aligned. All right, the next part, like in our documentation, it says that the professor wants us to have each section, like executive summary, that needs to be on a new page. So what I'll often see people do is they'll just keep hitting enter over and over and over until they get to a new page. And then obviously like history, we're going to keep adding to that stuff. So like, you know, more histories will be done. We'll add it here. Then it moves this down. And it's like, oh, shoot, we have to go back. We have to bring this up. That's a silly way to do it. So what you want to do instead is hit Control and Enter, and that will create what's known as a page break. A page break automatically moves whatever is below it onto the next page. And if you're thinking, well, I did that with the Enter thing, the main difference is that as much as you put above the page break, it doesn't care. It will still keep whatever below it beneath the page break. So I can add this stuff here, and until I actually move on to the next page, it won't move it over. Moved it a little too much. Oh, there's a space here. So this makes it much nicer for like if you're filling in things and you still want to keep it on the next page no matter what you do. It's like I will add, you know, this stuff here. It'll go on to the next page, and then it will automatically. Oh, I lost my page break. Shoot. Control Enter. Sorry. So as much as I add stuff here, still doesn't move it down. So once you have a page break there, it will always stay on its own page. You don't have to worry about having to go back and forth to move things up and down. All right, now I'm going to go to the next part. And a lot of times people will try to do numbering, and they will like do, you know, like one. And a lot of things will pick up on that, and they will try to like help you with it. But then like if you find out that like, oh hey, this actually needs to be, you know, if you need to move this over, you make that number 2. Then also now your numbers are out of whack. You have to make this number 3. And if you have like 3 and 4 down here, you have to do all those numbers. That's a silly way to do it. So Google Documents and a lot of other things like Word will do this too, is you can automatically set up a numbering system. I've seen people avoid this because it gets very finicky, and it is finicky, but if you know how to use it, it becomes very powerful. You just have to know the rules behind it. So first of all, I like doing this numbering system where you have the ones. So like this will be 1. You press Enter, that would be 2. Now if you want to have it where it's a subcategory, like a 1.1 or 1.2, what you need to do is you press Enter to go to a new line, and Tab will make it a subcategory. And you see the power of this, where it's like, oh no, I need to make a subcategory. It automatically knows that, okay, this is a subcategory now. I'm going to renumber all these main categories something else now. And this is where people get a little finicky, or don't like it because it's finicky. So like if I need to, you know, put this here, and then put this here, automatically go 2. But you're like, oh wait, I need to make like a subcategory of this. How do I do that? You press Tab, and it makes it a deeper subcategory. And as long as you keep pressing Tab, it will keep making it a deeper and deeper subcategory. And now people will like sometimes will make a subcategory and be like, shoot, I do not need, you know, 5 levels of subcategory. How do I go back? So you press Enter when, and here's a key thing is you put stuff here, and like you start pressing Tab and it starts acting like you're normally tabbing. There has to be nothing next to the numbers. It has to be blank to make this work. So there's blank. You press Tab, gives you a subcategory, blank, and you press Enter, brings you up a category. And sometimes like you want to like add a picture. I could be like, okay, I want to add a picture like below here, and it's like, oh wait, it keeps like getting rid of the numbers, or it keeps adding numbers. Like, how do I put a picture between number 2 and 3? So first of all, you're going to do is you are going to make sure that there is a number 2 and 3. Hit enter, it's going to try and make a 3. Now if you press backspace, that will put space between them, and you can put whatever you want here without it making a category, but still keeping the numbering up. And so this obviously gets very powerful because it does all the numbering for you. And so long as you understand when to press enter, when to press tab, how these categories work, it's not too bad to handle, but a lot of people don't know about that, pressing enter or pressing tab. So I'll just go over it again. Tab gives you subcategory when it's empty, enter gives you category. And we'll adjust the numbering system as you need it. So with this, you do right there. And then like if you want the rest of this to be like a subcategory, what you do is you press delete to bring it up to this line. Now from here you press enter, but you want it to be a subcategory, so you press tab, and now it's a subcategory. And it's a little finicky, but like I said, when you get used to it, it starts making sense. So delete to bring it up to this line, enter, it's a new line, now it's a subcategory. And like if you want this to be a new category, you do that, press delete, oops, new line, and there we go. Little finicky, but you can see how it works, where you press enter to get there, then you move things up onto it. And now I'm going to go over something that is extremely overlooked, but extremely powerful. It's called headers. You might have like played around with these where you go here and there's text styles. And you have normal text, which is what we have now, where it's Times New Roman 12. That's why I've set everything to. But if you want to, you have header styles, and usually they're ugly. Like I'm going to apply title. I'm going to actually apply heading 1. These are the main ones you want to worry about, the heading numbers. It's like I'll apply heading 1, and it puts it to Arial size 20. It looks ugly. And if you're like me, when you first saw it, it's like, it makes it look ugly. This is stupid. I'll just do it myself. So like I will, of course, put it back to Times Roman. Maybe I'll make it 14 so it's not as garish looking. Make it bold with Control B. There we go. I'll make it like that. Now it doesn't look stupid. Why would I mess with headings? So first of all, headings become a shortcut to this format. So I want heading 1 to stand out like this, where it's a little bit bigger, it's bold. So I'm going to go to heading 1. I'm going to update heading 1 to match. So whatever I have highlighted, the text style I've done with that, so the size of the font, the bolding, the type of the font, all that's going to get saved. So update heading 1 to match. And now Shift Home, and the shortcut for heading, and it's very good to know this, is Control Alt 1. Black. What did one up a page. There we go. Shift Home, Control Alt 1. Control Alt 1. Press Shift Alt 1. Control Alt 1 applies the heading. Highlight it. Control Alt 1 applies the heading. So you might be thinking, okay, that's kind of neat. That's a nice little easy way to apply that. However, it gets much more powerful, and I'm going to show you the main reason why you want to apply headings. First of all, I'll do a little bit more with it. So again, making sure that we keep up with our numbering. We have like number 4, we want that to be a main 1. Control Alt 1, we do that. And you can also combine these with, like I said, the page break. So like each of these sections, they're supposed to be their own section. So like we go here, we press Control Enter. Now it's its own. Now it's its own section. It will automatically be put onto the next page. Same here. And so with that, like if we then take like this stuff, make a new section, and headings also go off of different layers. So like do this, I'm just going to make this bold. So this is bold and sized up, and this is just going to be bold. Go to heading 2, update heading 2 to match. That was a heading 2. And so like anything like this layer, I can set it to heading 2. And also because I did the numbering and I have the page break, even though I add more stuff here, you don't have to keep pressing up, and it kept the numbering safe. Or like if I want to, like, oh wait, shoot, this stuff needs to be section 4. I can take this, give you a page break, go back here, put you here, actually backspace, so you're part of that. Control Enter, get rid of that, and there we go. We've now added a numbering in the middle of the numbering, and all of the numbering has been made to keep up. See, number 5 made this the same numbering. So, like I said, numbering is a little finicky, but once you get the hang of it, it will save you so much time because you don't have to keep going back and be like, oh shoot, I missed one number, now I have to update 60 other numbers behind it. It'll keep it in charge for you. And I'm going to make this 4, Control Alt 1, so this gets the first heading. Control Alt 2, so this gets the second heading. And so here's the real power behind headings. Obviously, like first of all, there's the shortcutting, so it makes it look nice, and you can just apply it really quickly, especially if you have the shortcuts. Like that. The real power of headings, though, is when you go to make a table of contents. Table of contents, of course, can be a nightmare because it's like, okay, I have to go through every single page, figure out what's there on the main points, like possibly get 2 screens up and keep checking numbers and going back and forth, and that is silly. It will do this for you. So we're going to go to, I believe it's under Insert or something. Oh, there we go. Very last one, table of contents. With page numbers, there's our table of contents. All done. This is why I say to apply headings so much, because where we apply the headings, that's what it looks for those numbers. So it says, oh, heading 1, that's super important. I'm going to consider that like a main thing to look at. I'm going to automatically put that as its own thing, and then put the page number. Heading 1, page number. Heading 1, page number. Now, obviously, like this is not supposed to be like this. It is a nice thing when you automatically add the table of contents. You now get links to go straight down to it. And if you want to de-heading something, it's actually not that bad either. So, first of all, alright, so now this has gained the heading 2. Control Alt 0 turns it into normal text. And now, if unfortunately, one slightly annoying thing about table of contents, obviously, this is way better, but like it hasn't automatically updated it. This little thing right here, you're gonna have to click on this, and this will update it. And why did you not get fixed? Control Alt 0. Control Home, page down, page down. Let's see if that fixes you. There we go. And that is the basics of formatting. So, yep, use headings, use numbering, use Shift and Control and the other keys to make your way through a lot faster. Control A, and use the headings to get yourself these nice table of contents automatically done for you. So, yep, that's the basics of it. And if you guys want to know more, just let me know.